Today, we're talking about why you keep losing the ball. If you want to improve and really take your game to the next level, you've got to get comfortable on the ball. And that means stop giving it away. But here's the thing, I'm not just going to list off a bunch of random skills because that's not what you need. What you really need is to understand how to use those skills to create both time and space for yourself. Because the more time and space you have, the less you're going to lose the ball. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 best ways to do exactly this. Do all these and I guarantee it'll feel like you're playing on easy mode and you'll stop losing the ball. I know this works because I received a full scholarship just to play football for my university. And these are the exact things that helped me get there. Alright, tip number 1 has to do with the illusion of time, and it revolves around something I'm sure you've heard of before, scanning. But let me ask you, why do you scan? You might say, to see who's around me. And yeah, that's part of it. But if you really want to stop losing the ball, you've got to take that understanding one step further. For me, scanning has one clear purpose, and that is to give myself time, or at least the illusion of time. If you're always losing the ball, chances are you're playing in reaction mode. The ball comes, you look up, and by the time you decide, it's already too late. That's when the game feels too fast and you feel panic. But scanning changes that. It builds a mental map where the space is, where the pressure is coming from, and what your best option might be. Now you decide before the ball even arrives, and that's what creates the illusion of time. You're still moving at the same speed, but the game feels slower. So in your next game, try this. Take 2 quick looks right before the ball gets to you. One to see the big picture, and one right before the ball arrives to confirm your next move. That one habit alone can stop you from losing the ball, because now you're in control. Now that you're no longer ball watching and have a mental map of the field, what's next? Because here's the thing, just seeing space isn't enough. If you're not actively creating it, defenders are going to close you down and you're still going to feel rushed. To see what I mean, look at this kickoff from Real Madrid. It only works because Modric disguises his intentions. He checks in like he's going to receive the ball, then he shifts his position at the last second to create space. That small movement tricks the defender into hesitating, and it gives Modric just enough time to receive the ball and lay it off. It's like playing tag as a kid. You wouldn't just run in a straight line. You'd fake one way, then you'd burst in the other to throw them off. And that same principle applies to football. You want to disguise where you actually want the ball. Check in, check out, change your angle, vary your pace, do whatever it takes to keep your defender guessing. This is something you can and should be doing all over the pitch. That little bit of space you create through disguise can be the difference between keeping the ball or losing it. But this brings us to the next part of your journey to stop losing the ball, and that is receiving it. Your first touch is one of the most important skills you can develop, not just to keep possession, but also to level up your game. Now here's the good news. By using the first 2 tips, scanning and disguising your movement, you've already done everything you can to maximize the amount of time and space you have before the ball even gets to you. And while those things won't magically improve your first touch overnight, they'll do something just as valuable. They increase your margin for error. If you miscontrol the ball a little, you've created enough space so that you can still recover. But imagine if everything came together. You knew exactly where your teammates and opponents were, you slipped away from your defender, and you took a clean first touch. At that point, you'd be unstoppable. Now I get it. First touch takes time to improve. It's not like just flipping a switch. But there are simple drills that you can start doing today. Wall passes, ball mastery exercises, and practicing first touch with every part of your foot. These help build control, comfort, and consistency. But here's the exciting part. Unlike first touch, the next 2 tips I'm going to reveal are things you can start to implement right away, and they'll instantly increase your chance of keeping the ball even when you're under pressure. Want to know one of the best pieces of football advice I ever received? It was to get my body in between the man and the ball. Simple, effective, and honestly, it was game-changing. If you can do that, I guarantee you're going to lose the ball way less. That's because if the defender wants to get the ball off of you, they're going to have to go right through you. That's what this tip is all about. It's about protecting the ball. And the beauty of it, it's not about being big, fast, or strong. While those things may help, It's mainly about your positioning, and it's something you can start doing immediately. Just watch a player like Hazard. Look how he constantly positions himself between the defender and the ball. He draws fouls, absorbs pressure, and keeps possession like it's nothing. Here are 3 quick keys to make sure that you're doing this effectively. The first thing is don't stop scanning. Keep your head up so you know where the pressure is coming from. The second thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you move the ball away from pressure. Once you've identified the threat, use your opposite foot or hit that smooth spin like Iniesta or Xavi to escape pressure. The third thing is use your arms. This is honestly a big one, and I think most people forget that football is a contact sport. Your goal here should be to create even more distance between the ball and your defender. It keeps you balanced and helps you stay in control. So if you start getting your body in between the man and the ball, you'll feel like you've added an invisible wall between the ball and your opponent. We finally made it to my 5th and final point. Honestly, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you staying along. But before I get into it, let me ask you a question. Why do you play football? Sure, we all have different goals. Maybe it was like me, where you wanted to get a scholarship to help pay for school. Maybe it's to even go pro, or maybe it's even just to improve. But deep down, I hope it's because you love the game. I'm telling you this because there was a point in my journey where that love started to fade. The pressure from coaches, teammates, and even myself got so heavy that I stopped playing with joy. When I lost that joy, I also lost my creativity. My game got stiff, robotic, and predictable. And that's how you start losing the ball more and more. But when I reconnected with why I started playing football, when I just said forget it, I'm playing my game, everything changed. I started expressing myself again, and the creativity came back. And guess what? I instantly stopped losing the ball because defenders couldn't guess what my next move was going to be. And that's what this final tip is all about. Playing unpredictable. Be creative. Be spontaneous. Add a fake. Try a new turn. Mix it up. When defenders don't know what's coming, they can't press you the same way. And that's when football becomes fun again and you stop losing the ball.